Okay, here I come. Not ready on YouTube. Okay, well that's fine. So we'll come back to that. And I don't actually want to play that. Can I pause that? Hey. Stream health is good. Warning, no data, 1540. Okay, we're cool. All right. So I think we're on. Let me just get my backup recording going, just in case. So how is everybody? I think everybody has their... Have I sent them out? Yep, looks like we got that. We got our web. We got... Oops, got the YouTube. That's not coming in. Why is that then? Okay, I might need to tinker. 616. Okay, maybe I need to live streaming. Okay. Let's see, something's gone a bit wonky. 616. Let's do that again. There we go. Got it. So I can save that. Should be getting good at this now. I've done so many live streams in the last 10 days. Literally almost everything I've said has been recorded. Which is, I'm not sure that that's so good. But I think we've got a lot of videos. We've got a lot of videos for YouTube. We've got some 3 live performances. We've also got... what else have we got? I've got an extra Sonic talk, which is going to be on Saturday at 3 p.m. YouTube text in, text notice in YouTube chat. You switch feeds and handle overlays. What am I using? I'm using something called vMix, which is vmix.com. It's sort of broadcast software, basically. And then I use MIDI control of that software, which has been something I've developed, since before we used this system. And fortunately, I could use the same controllers and the same layout and just carry on. So it meant that I didn't have to learn an entirely new setup, which is good. Let's have a look. Let's shut that off. So, yeah, we've had... so we use vMix. I've been using that a lot because what it allows me to do is I can have remote callers. So when we've been doing these remote videos with people, we can either have them, stream maybe from a couple of cameras or 3 in some cases, or take Zoom as an input, or, basically anything that works for the people on the other end. And some of that's been successful. Some of it's down to having the right kind of... internet connection, in which case if they haven't got a strong internet connection, we film an intro and then they film their demo and they'll send us the video. So we've figured out lots of ways to get this stuff in, and I don't know how many. I think we've done more than 30, so there's going to be plenty of content coming up starting on Friday. So yeah, there are lots of live streams. Just like to say, this is episode 616, so we've probably been doing it a bit longer than others, but I'm not saying it's better, I'm just saying we've been doing it longer. It's the quality, not the quantity, right? So yeah, today we've got Gaz, we've got Charles, and we've got Robbie Bronneman. We haven't had on for a while. And we can see you folks in the YouTube chat room, and also on the IRC. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of video coming up, but because we've been doing this, it means that all of my reviews and everything have been on hold because I just haven't had the bandwidth to do this. I've been doing maybe 5 or 6 videos a day, but that's not recording them because each of the videos we do with people, we try and do like a little test session. So the first probably 7 days were setting up test sessions, sort of sound check, if you like, saving those documents so that when we do the real thing, we reload it. They just come back and then they're ready to go. So we don't end up doing tech nonsense at the beginning because the scheduling is quite tight. So that's why I haven't done any product stuff or any Friday funds or any of that stuff. So let me see. So yeah, like I say, I think Superbooth officially starts tomorrow, so you'll be able to see stuff on the Superbooth channel. I don't know, Synth Anatomy are posting some stuff, probably Hindback. You know, there are people who are starting their content there. We wanted to just give ourselves an extra day because we've literally only started rendering out a lot of these videos today. So that's a lot of stuff. Robbie, wrong link. Oh, that's Charles. Sorry, that's Charles, not Robbie. What am I talking about? Okay, Charles is setting his audio up.
Are you hearing me?
I am. It's quiet.
Check. Hey.
Pretty quiet.
You can hear me. I can't hear you. Let me just figure out.
Okay. Let me check that I've got. It's all coming back to the right place. Audio source master. Yeah. Audio source master. I figured out lots of new features. Okay, so we'll just get Charles hooked up. Yeah, I just want to figure out. It's either it's really hard to tell with Charles's mic. It's either a big condenser far away or a tiny one really close. Can you hear me, Charles? Charles. 1, 2, test. Testing.
Oh yes. Can you hear me still?
I can. You're still very quiet.
Okay, I'll fix that.
You can hear me now, right?
I sure can.
Great.
How about now?
Let's have a look. Okay, a bit more.
How about this? I'll talk a little more. Okay, good.
Probably drop that about maybe 3 or 4 dBs of gain, something like that.
Okay, how's this? Is this a little bit better?
Yeah, that's fine. I can always drop it down a tad. What is that mic? It's really weird. It sort of looks like you're really far away from a sort of a U67 or U87 style mic in black, or it's really tiny.
It's a little bit of both. It's made by a company called Roswell, and it's their Mini K47. So it's their 47 fat sort of copy. And it is. I mean, you can see compared to my hand, it's quite small.
Yeah, it is neat.
Yeah, I absolutely love these mics. By the way, they are fantastic mics.
What do you use them for generally?
All around. They're an all-around mic. So I've used them for vocals. I've used them as I toured with them for years as audience mics because the bands have always just loved the way they sound in their ears. So I just sort of put them near the PA, aiming out towards the audience, and that feeds back into their in-ears. And I've used them on a lot of acoustic guitars. They sound great. Like, especially when I mic acoustic guitars, I'll do a 12th fret mic, a large diaphragm mic aiming down sort of towards the bridge, and another mic in front aiming at the 12th fret, and it's always this mic aiming towards the bridge. Right.
Okay. It's interesting because it sounds like you're really close on it, but you're not. It's interesting.
Not really. No.
Yeah.
I can also back up a bit more if you need.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you're not. It's just an interesting mic characteristic. It's kind of very intimate sounding while not being like as close as mine is, but mine's only a dynamic mic, obviously. So
yeah, and these things are cheap. I bought a pair of them for, I think, £600 for a matched pair for £600. So
that's not bad for a stereo pair, is it?
Yeah, not bad at all. And they come with a basket and everything.
Are they switchable patterns and whatnot?
No, fixed cardioid, and very low noise. Matt, the guy who makes these, is a lovely guy. He makes a lot of parts for other microphones. So I also have some. I've made in the past. I made a lot of ribbon mics, and he made the transformers that went in all of my mics. That's how how
You're
I
a
know
man of
them
many
originally.
talents, Chicky. I didn't realize you made microphones as well. Good grief.
Well, I thought it'd be a good idea to start a business making microphones, and then I realized there's this company called China, or country called China, and discovered that was probably not the wisest thing to try to compete with them.
Right.
But yeah,
Okay, cool.
So-
We got Gaz. So you're first. That's good. Still got 10 minutes. Robbie's always a little bit late. I don't know what he does. Maybe he has a ritual. Is he like that when he's gigging? Is he always last up?
yep. Last
Excellent.
out of the bus, last back onto it.
Right. Okay. Well, that's, I guess, and yeah. Well, we'll be all right. I mean, it's not like we're going anywhere. I'm sure people could wait a few minutes if they were. Nobody's got to catch a bus, right? Not
That's
today,
right.
anyway.
Certainly not today.
So
I was just out for a little bit of a walk and around London, getting my daily exercise. And wow, it's very quiet. I'm still not quite used to it, but the air is clean. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, well, it's been it's quiet here. There's more people out, but it's still very quiet, and it's the sun's been lovely actually today. Well, apparently I haven't seen any of it because it's kind of,
Sorry, I'm finishing off my lunch while I'm talking to you, but it's okay.
That's
It's
all
only
right.
toast.
We're getting extremely. It's like you're doing an ASMR video. And they look like they'd be great mics for ASMR.
Have you seen the ones with the ears on the side?
Yeah, I can't remember what they are. Are they? What make are they? I've seen them. Yeah,
It's some
latex.
brand I don't know. Yeah,
latex is. Yeah, I saw them in. They had them at NAMM. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
right.
So there's this one ASMR. Maybe I shouldn't let you know that I know so much about this, but there's this one ASMR person called, I think her name is Ting or something like that. And she's always like, welcome back. And she's like doing little things around the ears and stuff. And I gotta say, that stuff knocks me right out. It puts me to sleep right away. It's amazing. Because I'm a bit of an insomniac. So I actually use some of that stuff to help me sleep. And it works really well.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm good. Well, whatever works. I mean, I would say, yeah. I mean, I've been sleeping all right. The last few days I haven't, but I mean, as things come to a head, it's really strange because normally when you do Super Booth, I'd be there today. We'd be right now. We'd be on site, kind of setting up and maybe filming a few things, getting ready for the onslaught tomorrow. But like I say, it's been in sort of slow motion, and I think we've got over 30 videos. I'm pretty sure. I haven't done a check,
That's
so we've
great.
done a lot of stuff. I'm hoping it's all right. I mean, inevitably, some people have fallen through the cracks. It's just not what we can do. If people sort of rock up like this morning and say, hey, can we do something? It's just like, I'm done. I just can't physically do any more. And Andy's been editing like crazy, and yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff to come. So it's going to be a good, hopefully. I mean, now the only things that can go wrong are the live streams, and I'm pretty sure, I've sound checked all of those. So it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, I did order some stuff to help the video portion from here along, and the first thing arrived 2 days ago, and it was from Elgato, and it was the wrong thing. It was like game capture. They sent me some game capture cards. Like, I know they're more valuable, but that's not what I need. I need video capture cards. So.
I think, yes, I think, yeah. Well, we've done a couple of streams, actually. We did a stream with Polyend, I think I might have showed you, and the output from that little VR1 HD mixer is absolutely amazing. That's the best. I mean, it's by far the best we've been able to find.
Really?
Just coming in, it's better than what we can do here. I mean, he's using expensive lenses and expensive cameras, but nonetheless, the frame rate, the color space, everything was absolutely brilliant. And I did another one with Ed Diaz last week, who is yesterday, in fact. Ed Diaz, the Roland guy, he's based in Texas, and he's got a VR4, which is a bit further up the food chain, but just this amazing video quality. And it's all got the thing that makes it really work well, because the Blackmagic do these things. I'm going to review the Roland Go Mix. It's much further down the food chain. The Blackmagic maybe does a bit more, but what the Roland has is frame synchronizers on each of the inputs, which means you can just plug in a 50i, 25, 30, and they'll all just work. Whereas Blackmagic generally, I think maybe the new A10 Mini actually has
That's
frame
the one-
synchronizers, which I didn't realize.
That's one I was hoping to get, but it's just I can't get it now. Right? Not yet.
Well, if you pre-order
It's-
for the A10 Mini Pro, which is the one I would go for, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's the A10 Mini Pro. For that, I mean, the people out there might find this interesting. A10 Mini Pro is like a little hardware switcher, has 4 HDMI inputs, has a network output and a USB-C output, and what it does is it'll turn up in your software as a USB cam, but it'll mix down HDMI sources. But it's also got a RJ45 Ethernet cable, so you can plug that into your computer and it will hardware encode and stream directly through. If you share the internet through your computer, it will stream directly to wherever it is that you want to go, you know, and that is really, I mean, for the money, it's astonishingly good value.
The deposit. There's a £25 deposit that I paid on that, but it's not coming for a while. So, it's been really hard to get a hold of a lot of video stuff during this time period because everybody's trying to do video.
Well, I had a meeting with Roland this week sometime, maybe last week. I can't remember when it was. It was just day to day. It's meetings one after the other on this system, and we were talking to all of the kind of the Roland people, you know, the marketing people, global marketing people, and I specifically asked them about whether these were available, and they said, yeah, there are still some in the channels, and there's another load coming over on the boat, you know, about to drop. So you should still be able to get them. This is the VR1 HDs. It's only got 3 inputs, but it's a very high quality device. Really,
that's
impressive.
all I would need anyway. Three is plenty for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have that many sources of clean HDMI anyway.
Well, you might want to share a screen as well. So if you had 3 shots in a screen, you know, I mean, those are but I think you can get the screen in there some other way. Probably. I'm not sure.
Gosh, that was a delicious, if not terribly nutritious lunch. That was 2 pieces of high C content toast with a bit of jam.
I can see Robbie there. Robbie is in the house. Hello, Robbie. How you doing?
I'm here, Robbie.
Good, thanks.
You look
Oh my
you
God.
look a little bit like you're sat on a very low stool
Do I?
because your webcam is pointing. Yeah, I've got basically your eyes are just peering. You can see what the shot is.
Okay.
Any chance you could get it either just central? Yeah, that's better. How are you, mate? You all right?
All right, thanks. You know, stuck at home on my own.
Yeah, no change there, really, is there, for most of us?
Yeah, literally on my own. So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's tougher.
But yeah, it's all good.
Good to see you again, Robbie, by the way.
You too, mate.
All right, and we got Gaz. Let's check Gaz's audio. Got you, Gaz?
Yeah, how's that sounding?
Is that your mic? I think it is. Just give it a tap.
Yep, loud.
Yeah, that's definitely it. That's fine.
Yeah, too loud? How's
No,
level?
I think that's all right.
Okay.
Excuse
it
me.
Worked.
We made it. First time. That's pretty good.
It worked.
Pretty good
Yeah.
go. Well, I know Robbie's definitely not going to be on Catalina. You're probably on it. I don't know about Chicky.
I'm just
I'm on
about to go to
Catalina.
Harvey.
Yeah, good for you. That's what
He's
I'm
so
on at the
behind the
moment.
times, Robbie, isn't he? So behind the
No,
times.
it's because I have projects I have to know work.
No, you don't.
Oh, wait. I'm on Sierra. So there we go.
Ooh,
There we go.
Wow, that is behind the times. But mine works.
is that
you know?
does your
okay.
computer have like a squirrel on a treadmill inside of it?
No, I've got a late 2000, either 2016 or 2017 i7 with the touch bar. You know, it's a cracking machine. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what this is that I'm talking to you on.
Yeah.
I'm running Catalina on this, so it seems fine.
I just don't want. I mean, that would be the worst thing to. I could just imagine. Oh no, I'll update my OS just before we have to shoot a whole ton of video content. Imagine.
Yeah, the one problem I've noticed, because I updated everything to Catalina, and the one problem I did notice is that anything, there are all kinds of things that were actually running 32-bit that I had no idea were running 32, and and all those things don't work anymore. So I had to update my Prophet Rev 2 software. I had to update my old Motu Micro Express MIDI thing, whatever it's called. All these things. So just suddenly, I was like, why can I not get the Mother 32 happening? And it was like, oh, because the Micro Express isn't working, and it's not working because the software is incompatible, and stuff like that.
I was talking to BT the other day, and his laptop,
I'm not joking. He can run every single operating system of OS 10 right the way back, and he can run OS 9 on it on his MacBook.
Wow.
God knows what he's done.
Why would you want to?
Well, it's because he got all the software that that's never been gone to like proper release. That he wants to run back in OS 9 point something or yeah. But
well, it's a fact, isn't it? A fact that OS 9 just sounds better.
It's got that sound, man.
Right, we got everybody. We got everybody. I'm just going to step away for a minute. I've just been drinking a lot of water, so I'll leave you to your imaginations. It won't be a sec.
Take your mic with you.
Look what I got, Gaz.
Hey,
yeah, it's one of those button things. Yeah.
Yeah,
very
got
nice.
3 of them now.
Yeah, the only thing I could find, I tried one of those Philips Hue, switch things because I need to turn on my rack of Behringer synths because all the power switches are in the back of the racks, so you can't turn them off anymore.
Right.
So I tried one of those Philips things, but it didn't like it, so I went with your tried and tested switch.
Yeah, those things are great.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, go on. Sorry, Chicky, after you.
I was just going to say, what have you guys been up to?
I'm working on my EP for BT at the moment, so.
Oh, very nice.
So yeah, so I'm it's right in the middle of it. It's going really well.
Good.
Okay.
It's good to stay busy too.
Right,
He's
okay.
back.
I think we can. I've got everybody's thirds doing the thing that they do. I'm recording there. So, actually, the one thing I haven't done, I suspect, is that. Yes, I did think I had. I need to record that in the right folder. My record paths, I'm very hot on them at the moment. Learned a lot from just doing 6 streaming sessions a day, or 6 remote recording sessions a day for the last however long. Certainly in workflow. Anyway, right? Okay, let's get Facebook. YouTube is streaming. Facebook. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to hit go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sonic Talk episode 616. There must be some sort of piece of equipment that's a 616. It's the drum machine Roland never made. Somebody's got a bleeping thing there, but it sounds kind of quite intriguing. It's quite a friendly bleep. Anyway, this is a podcast to do with music technology, music production, software, synthesizers, even guitars sometimes, drum machines, all the kind of technology that goes around making records, making stuff for tracks or whatever it is you want to call them, live production, all of those sort of things. So welcome everybody, and I want to say hello and thank you very much to Isotope. Isotope will be giving away a copy of Ozone 9 Advanced, which is mastering software, but also works great as channel strips, audio processing, lots of intelligent stuff there. There will be a message from them. That happens about halfway through the show. So thanks everybody for joining us. A couple of things other way. Obviously, Super Booth is coming. Our coverage starts on Friday the 24th. We've got Ian Body at 5 p.m. doing a live stream. He can't perform live, but he's prepared some stuff, but we'll play those in and have a chat. Then on Saturday at 5 p.m. we've got Scanner, aka Robin Rimbaud. He's doing a live stream at 5 o'clock, and then all being well, Matt Hodson, I know he's got some ear trouble at the moment. I hope he feels better. He's doing on Sunday, and then we've got another Sonic Talk special with some YouTubers. I think we're going to have Div Kid, Robin Vincent from Molten Music Tech, and also Bo Beats at that's 3 p.m. on Saturday, yeah, and the rest of the stuff will just be happening around there. All the videos we picked, we shot a lot of videos. What else? There was something else I was going to say, which I haven't been able to do any reviews because I've been just flat out filming stuff for Super Booth, but we will have I think more than 30 videos, so there's going to be a lot of content for you to see, so please do stay tuned for that. So we'll come back to our guests now. I think we'll start over here with Mr. Robbie Bronneman, because Robbie, we haven't seen you for ages, and I'm sure you've been a busy boy. What's been going on in your life? Well, apart from obviously staying in a lot. I hope you're well, obviously, and you seem well, so that's good.
Yeah, no, good. I was meant to be, well, as Chicky was in Europe this month, but that and all our touring has been obviously cancelled. So making the best of being at home. So just working in the studio.
Yeah, well, I guess you got projects on the go. Weren't you talking about you're doing a solo album?
Yeah, I'm doing an EP at the moment. Yeah, doing solo EP.
Yeah, excellent.
So I'm part of the way through that already. So yeah, it's going really well.
Have you found, because we've discussed this with all the other panelists who've been on, have you found that you're able to focus more, there's less distraction, or is it much the same as business as usual?
Well, it took a bit of a time. It took a few weeks, if I'm honest, just to kind of get my head around what was going on. And so, once I kind of felt a bit more like I knew what was going on, I could kind of relax a bit and kind of just focus in. So, yeah, I've got myself into a good routine now.
Yeah, no, that's a tough thing. I mean, I think for me, I felt the first 10 days I just couldn't contemplate anything creative whatsoever.
I had a fantastic, Christian Henson from Spitfire Audio. He does he's got his channel. Yeah. He did a great episode about people confronted with working at home. Obviously, I work at home anyway, but it's really worth checking out because it had some great tips in it for maximising your workflow at home if you find yourself in that position, having not had that situation before. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good. Yeah, he does some great stuff. He's a really good sort of stream of consciousness speaker. I mean, I think he plans it, but he's very good at that stuff. I love. In fact, I think there's some kind of Spitfire announcement coming up in a couple of weeks, and I think we're gonna talk to them, but I haven't had time to think about that. I mean, right now I'm focused on the Super Boost stuff. Lovely to see you there, Robbie. Anyway, and also we have Mr. I'm going to go to Charles because Gaz is. I was going to throw him in there, throw him under the bus by bringing him in while he wasn't ready, but I'm going to go to Charles first. Charles Chicky Reeves, Sublime UK producer, remote mixer, and live sound engineer, artist, all those kind of things, and man with a very tiny microphone that sounds very big. How are you, Charles?
Yes. I'm doing great. Staying very busy. The whole remote mixing thing is working out really well. I've got it down to a science now where I have Zoom running, and so I can have all the different band members, which is normally a nightmare when they're in one room, but having them all on a Zoom conference call is completely different energy. And so I have all them, and then I have that listen to audio plugin that is streaming. I usually stream like CD quality to them, and it's great now that I've made the adjustment to that. I like every single day, like 7 days a week, which is a bit more than I wanted, but I'm grateful for the work. But it's staying
glad to hear it. Excellent, glad to hear it. Well, and we also have over here Mr. Gaz Williams, who suddenly looks ready. How are you, Gaz? Gaz over there in Bristol. Yes. Actually, you're our second in from Bristol, actually, because obviously Robbie's in Bristol too.
Oh, yeah, Robbie. Yeah, he joined us. Yes, indeed.
Are you starting to get a bit stir crazy? Are you starting? Who's the character on? Are you Ben Gunn? Is that?
Actually, I've been really busy myself, which is great, and I'm really grateful to be busy. Lots of mastering and video editing mainly, but also some songwriting and some reviewing, and we got some great reviews on the way. I've got about 3 things currently going at the moment, reviews. So yeah, wow, I'm actually more busy than normal, which is cool but bizarre. So great. But I mean, I'd just like to say again, I'd just like to say big love to everyone out there. Just love you all, and thank you so much again for joining us and being part of our big global family. Yeah,
I mean, obviously we realise some people are finding it tough, and it goes up and down. Sometimes you have a bad day, sometimes you have a good day. Hopefully, we've all caught you on good days, and just. It'll pass. At least the way you're feeling will probably pass. I mean, obviously what's going on will pass, but it might be on a slightly longer cycle than your own personal headspace. But do. So there is actually some news this week. I've said all the stuff with Super Booth, haven't I? Oh yeah, no, I was going to put this because I was going to throw this up while I was talking about Super Booth. I've posted a news item, Super Booth Home Edition, what to expect, and this is about the live performances and generally what's going on. We got a few premieres. In fact, we've got a We've got an exclusive from Expert Sleepers. That's at 4 o'clock on Friday. That's already up on YouTube. There's a big reveal. They're using it to reveal a product, and there'll be a few other premieres that you can attend. We'll have to post this as we go because we're literally rendering out the videos today because we just got actually Endless came on board and wanted to sponsor some of the Superview videos, so they've got one of the pre-roll spots, and so have Loop Cloud, both excellent sort of facilities to be for you guys in this space in this particular time. So anyway, thanks to all our sponsors, but it's been very helpful and nice to know that we're not working on nuts off for nothing at all, which we probably would anyway, to be honest, but it makes it a little easier. I'm jabbering now. Right, let's have a look. What was I looking for? Here we go. A couple of news items. Roly, as we've suspected for some time, there's some changes there. Roly just sold Juice, which is the platform that is a cross-platform plugin and music software creation system that was by Jules, who basically they've sold that to Pace, who are, as we know, copy protection. And they've also sold In Music have bought BFD. So it looks like they're kind of jettisoning the acquisitions that they made, and they're now obviously concentrating on their own stuff, which is probably a good idea. And so that, I guess that's industry news. It's not really sort of particularly tech news, but I suppose I guess I could come to you first, Robbie, because you're a Roly. You've got a Roly, haven't you? You kind of dig the Roly thing.
Yeah. I've got the little Seaboard block here, and then I've got the 49 Rise as well. Yeah. I mean, I guess they're kind of famous, aren't they? Everyone knows they had that unprecedented, massive injection of money and all that, and I guess they're just trying to streamline their operation to kind of concentrate on the things that are important. So I think it's a good thing. Instead of spreading themselves thin, just kind of concentrating on the products that kind of got them to where they are.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember what was the thing is it Loomis or Loom?
Lumi.
Lumi, that's right. The little coloured kind of keyboard, which is a bit more sort of lifestyle, shall we say? I suppose. But they've got those in all the stores and stuff. But
although I think those keyboards would be great on the road because I haven't had a chance to play one, but apparently they're meant to play really nicely, and they snap together, and you can use like three together to get like a 6-octave full-size keyboard. So that would be great for traveling. In a backpack with your laptop if you're a player.
Oh, here we go, Loomies. Yeah, there we go. This is the thing we're talking about.
I think it could be great.
That's true, yeah, because they're edge to edge, aren't they? There's no sort of that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Interesting.
So from that aspect, I think that could be great for professionals, and I think it's the same size as Seaboard block, so you could tack one of those on the end. So
that's an interesting idea. Yeah. You could make like a massive keyboard rig that was really small.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't know whether you did, Charles. Did you do the Roly thing? Have you kind of got any of the Roly stuff?
I kept meaning to, and I never got around to it. I played one, or played on a few of them, and I like it, but I'm just quite old-fashioned. I can't get away from a keyboard.
No, that's fair enough.
I love proper either weighted or plastic keys. But yeah, I guess I think it's a great idea from a business perspective to focus on the thing that, as they say in Texas, dance with the one who brung you. So they're. I mean, I don't really know I don't know much about that company though. Honestly, I had some minor interaction with them in the past with a piece of software that this other guy and I were developing, but that's about it, So, and I don't know much else about them. Sorry, I wish I had more to offer on that.
No, that's cool. I mean, it's news, I suppose. I'm pouncing on it because there's been such a dearth of it anyway. Well, yeah. Gaz looks ready. Gaz looks ready.
I am ready. I swear to God. Right. Yes. The thing is, what Roly did, Roly took a massive load of money because I remember back then we talked about it, I think, a lot on the show back then. But there was this thing that. The amount of people who actually make music, who actually buy music making equipment, is so relatively small in the grand scheme of things. If you compare the camera market, for instance, to the music tech market, the music tech market is relatively small. it could be huge. So, what happened with Roly? Because remember, Roly's first products were really expensive, were big seaboards, weren't they?
Seaboard Rise, just the seaboard, yeah.
Similar kind of trajectory a little bit to Modal as well, with the big keyboards initially, and then going right down to, beginner market essentially, which certainly is what Roly did. And Roly got it wrong, big time got it wrong. The whole kind of blocks ecosystem and software was frustrating. It was a bit rubbish. Let's not beat around the bush. It could, the idea of it was trying to make music super accessible. Hey, you don't need to know things. You just, colored blocks and do all this kind of stuff. And but also trying to reach out to the wider kind of music tech market as well. But their devices, didn't have any connectivity on other than USB and the little things for, the blocks for joining them up. So they kind of like, they don't really fully integrate into your system. I mean, like, Robbie's case use, for example, going on tour and using that sort of thing is probably, a really good case in point. But that's not that massive market that Roly, I guess, got that investment from. It's a similar thing to what's happened with Native Instruments with that enormous financial injection. It's like, come on, there's a massive market out there. But for me, I think when you make kind of dumbed down painting by numbers, kind of, like I tried to make some music in that Roly software, and the only stuff I come up with was just turd, honestly, awful. I mean, I was frustrated. Other people might say, yeah, but all the music you make's turd. But no, it's not. I can make some good music, but it was just fight.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
And it's like,
there are examples of pro people like Flume. I mean, he's out live using 16 blocks on his live show to do his show. So,
again, they were going after the big market, though. That's what I'm talking about. Let me just finish my point.
Yeah,
so they were going after that big market, and in doing so,
they have a place, I guess.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. My point's more fun, though. But the thing is, it's like if you are going to go after that market, now they're having another crack at it with the Lumi, aren't they? And which is a little bit more conventional with the convention. And it's a little bit of a shame in a way because Roly, the whole push of MPE, is really
they are, yeah, exactly. Roly, let's give them credit where credit's due. Yeah,
absolutely, and that's really important. That's a really important thing. So I kind of sort of see this kind of weird duality between what they were trying to do, and I think, sadly, I think that they got it wrong. I think what would have been a better approach is to have expanded that fantastic technology that they've got into a way that was maybe more integral into existing systems. I mean, fantastic. It would have been amazing to have.
I know what you're saying, but what's really interesting is, they got all of those blocks into Apple stores. So we may consider them to be, maybe a failure in terms of the musicians we see using them. But I bet you they sold a ton of them, but perhaps not enough. But
you've got to also weigh it up with the fact that the Seaboard is is the product that kind of made them. Those initial Seaboards were lost leaders. They always said that they weren't there. They were there as a proof of concept almost, the really expensive ones to kind of, point the way to it. And then obviously the Rise, I think probably the Rise, set of, the 49 and the little 2-octave and all that, those are probably, where the pro musicians are at. But like every company, they have to find a way of making sure that they can keep that part going. So they look to the lower end to kind of, bring in money so that they can support the high end as well, which isn't as big a market. Yeah, every company does that, don't they? Korg, Roland, everyone has their noddy holder products at the bottom of the range,
Yeah, no, you're right.
But I think they were anticipating a massive sale.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say that, I always got the feeling from those keyboards that they were often a solution looking for a problem to solve. It's like I mean, the playing was interesting, but if it was something like the push and the push to and the machine and so forth, those are interesting ways of playing music because they integrate also with an existing ecosystem. But to me, it's just like, okay, well, why learn Esperanto? When I can express myself.
Okay, all right. Well, I can. I mean, I think the bigger seaboards, yes, was a bit weird. The little seaboard block was the sweet spot for me because it is when you set it up. Part of the problem is it doesn't work with Ableton, but not because of a problem with Roly. It's a problem that Ableton doesn't work with MPE. So you can't. You're cutting out like probably I don't know what percentage of the performer market. That's going to be probably 40%. I don't know. I'm guessing. Yeah. I don't know. So right away, if Ableton had that capability, it would have made a very big difference because it's just like, oh, I've got that. I can map all of this stuff. Because for expressive things and their synth, the synth, I can't remember what the actual synth's called. Equator. It's really, really good. It sounds really amazing. And the control, and it's just, I think basically because it wasn't universally accessible across like everything, because not everything handles MPE well. In fact, Logic doesn't either, really, does it? So
I mean, you only have to spend some time with the Slate plus Ash library Auras, which is like designed. I mean, it's an MPE library, but specifically, originally they aimed it at people with the seaboard. It's incredible the expression and what you can get out of it. It's it's definitely got its place, but it's it's not a mass market item.
Yeah,
I think that's.
And,
sorry,
go ahead. I was just going to say,
as the delay kicks in. The delay kicks in.
There's this old saying, which is, you sell to the classes, you eat with the masses. You sell to the masses, you eat with the classes. So I guess they are trying to find a way to sell to the masses because that really is where you make your money.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the point I was going to say, though. I think, the talent involved in Roly really kind of cherry-picked some of the best people in the business, and actually their acquisitions were really smart acquisitions. The acquisition of Juice, for instance, and now
Juice makes almost everything, doesn't it? It's the basis of so much audio software.
So much stuff. Yeah, exactly. Really smart. So a part of me is a little bit sad that if they are struggling, but and maybe the Lumi thing will turn things around for them. But the point I wanted to sort of make though was about how this idea that the market, this enormous market that's out there, by trying to appeal to people that they don't have to learn stuff, or in the case of the Lumi, a big thrust of the Lumi is this is a learning device. I was just curious, though, when do you think a company has got that right? That they've managed to sort of, you could say GarageBand is a very good example of that, of something that could kind of appeal to.
Well, yeah, but remember how we were all kind of initially perhaps sort of going, oh, this is terrible, hardcore Logically users, but now actually it's quite handy, for a lot of people. So yeah, it's an interesting.
Can I just mention one quick thing, just because this was something that's also to do with this, but there is a feature that people quite often overlook with Logic, which is the fact is if you go into the settings and go into the advanced settings, and there is a switch there, turn on advanced tools. Now, all power users, Robbie,
without that, it's basically GarageBand.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. When you switch that, and I think you must hate it, Robbie, because when you switch that, it puts wood end cheeks onto Logic. Which,
I'm well aware.
But this is a really cool thing, and I think people overlook this quite a lot. A lot of people struggle a little bit with, super complicated DAWs like Logic and Cubase or whatever, because there's a mad load of stuff there that they just will never ever use. So having this toggleable, like dumbed down version, and the thing is, if you use that dumbed down version and then collaborate, I was thinking about you and Bang actually, Robbie, because she hates all the complications, but like if you're working on a project together, do the simple one when for the person who wants just a much more streamlined workflow, and then you just toggle it and it's perfectly
it's compatible.
Totally compatible. But isn't that really cool? I don't know any other software that does that, and I think people overlook it because I think it may be switched off, or the advanced tools may be switched on by default.
It's a thing, isn't it? Because it's like you go from GarageBand to Logic Basic, and then when you
Right.
get fluent with that, you flick the button, and then you get to the logic.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a stepping stone.
A stepping stone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's
It shouldn't have
gate.
an end sheet,
Okay, I've
though.
got this. A gateway toggle switch. That's going to be the show title, I think. Gateway.
There you go.
Gateway toggle. If
Gateway
I can
to
fit that in,
greatness.
it might be a little.
It sounds salacious.
Yeah, there's got. You know me. I like just a little bit of smut in the show title, but without being too
Still being family
too
friendly.
specific. Yeah, exactly. We don't want any PG guidance stickers or anything. Anyway, that was. I mean, but it's very interesting, and it just feels like a kind of miss. And there have been. You know, there's all sorts of way that people feel about it, and you know, sometimes you just don't get it absolutely right. And I hope by streamlining that they will now be able to kind of move forward. Yeah,
I hope they do, because you know, I hope they're still around to support the seaboards.
Ah, well, there is that. Yeah,
Whatever they can do to make, I don't care if they want to sell flipping chickens or whatever they want to sell.
as long as they support the seaboard.
Good comment. Good comment though. They're super complicated doors, atrocious.
Oh, yeah, that's too long for the
very
poster
good.
frame, unfortunately. But yeah, I might try. Okay, well, let's do our little mid-roll thing with Isotope. That's what I was looking for.
Building on a 17-year legacy in audio mastering, Ozone 9 brings balance to your mix with never-before-seen processing for low-end, real-time instrument separation, and lightning-fast workflows powered by machine learning. Expect lower CPU usage and shorter startup times with Ozone 9 compared to Ozone 8. Experience fluid metering in a fully resizable environment that lets you track the most subtle details of your audio. Use more plugins at once, mix while you master without worrying about slowdowns or dropouts. And immerse yourself in a smooth, modern experience designed to keep you in your creative flow. As you can see, Ozone 9 is the fastest way to get your master off the ground. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos and head to iZotope.com to learn more about mixing and mastering and to download your free trial of Ozone 9.
Yeah, and once again, we thank them for providing the prize for this week. I just noticed that because I've seen this a number of times now because they've very kindly been giving away this for a while. There's a bit where they drag the window and it stutters, and if you perhaps weren't aware, you might think, oh my goodness, something's gone wrong, but it's not. It's actually a timed effect, but it's quite interesting. Right, anyway, so we've now got a competition. We're looking for the hashtag #MakeFinerMixes and the hashtag Ozone9. That's one word to @Sonicstate and @Isotope Inc. This is a Twitter competition, so you tweet this to enter. That's all we're looking for. I mean, if you've got other characters, stick a picture in there, stick anything you want to say. You know, you can combine those phrases into some witty phrase if you want, whatever. Just tweet the #MakeFinerMixes as one word and the hashtag Ozone9 as one word to @Sonicstate and @Isotope Inc. and you'll be entered into the competition to win a copy of Ozone 9 Advanced. That's the advanced one. And we have a winner from last week. This is somebody called Richard Groul, I think. Gosh, I don't know how to pronounce that. GROULX. That's on Twitter is the hashtag @Red5UNX. @Red5UNX. Richard Groul. Maybe I'm getting that right. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. They got the right one. Pick me, you said. And I did, although I wasn't responding specifically to those instructions. It's just that's what the random number generator picked up. But once again, we thank Isotope for supporting us on the show and continuing to do so. It's a great help during these times. So what's next? Oh, yeah, neat app. We may have covered this before, but I suspect as people have got more time on their hand, they might not have remembered it. This is the Roland 4x camera, and it's just like a sort of build-up jamming kind of recording system, which allows you. There are other apps, I think, that allow you to sort of build up acapellas and layer up things. It gets to the point in a minute, then you see up to 4 people, and you can or 4 clips, and you sync them up, and you can overdub to yourself, and there you go. I mean, I don't need to play the whole thing. I was rather hoping they'd play something at the end where it showed what it did. But essentially, you know, you get those split screens where you've got the same person doing the same thing and they sort of built a 4-track up. That's what that does. And it just seems like a neat one. I think at the moment it's on special offer. This one came from via CDM. I think it was, Create Digital Music or CDM.link, Peter Kern's excellent website. Free in-app, make your own split-screen music videos, and it's a free in-app purchase, so it's actually on special offer at the moment. And I would have thought, Gaz, this might appeal to you, because you're a sort of spontaneous looper sort of guy. I mean, not that everybody else isn't, but that's something that you do a lot, I think. You're muted. Is that me or you? It's you. Hey!
Rich Hilton special.
Take a drink.
I was slurping drink, and I was.
You were taking a drink.
I was muted for your benefit.
That's very kind of you. Whereas I didn't just then. That's what you would have heard if I hadn't muted. Just wanted to,
yes,
for illustrative purposes only.
Yeah. God, I hated that music in that little advert there.
Yeah, anyway, I know what you mean. It's a bit kind of shonky, isn't it?
I've done a few things like this myself. I've built them in Final Cut, but you know, as a kind of after the effect sort of thing. But doing it in a really fast way. I mean, this app came out a couple of years ago, and we did talk about it. Yeah,
we did.
I got it back then, although I used it. I tried it once, I think. It is interesting. I mean, it's interesting to, you know, it's a fun and cool little thing to as the app. It makes it really easy. But that kind of thing about making a piece of music and you show each part of it. I was kind of thinking about that. You know, they've got a term, haven't they, called video songs. I mean, it's a very basic song. Jack Conte, founder of Patreon, I think, was one of the first people to really nail that kind of way of doing things. And obviously Jacob Collier, the absolute master of that sort of stuff as well, I suppose.
You wouldn't want to take him on an improvised battle, would you, really?
No. I mean, I've been watching some of his... have you seen where, you know, he's done that whole series where people send him a little bit of singing and then he will just harmonize to their little video. Like they might send 15-second long piece and then he'll harmonize to it. And he's released now a bunch of compilations of these times where, but I mean, he's not just doing like simple vocal harmonies. He's doing the most intense, full 6-part arrangements to all of these, and is stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning. But the point I was going to say, though, is that something that is becoming more and more apparent, and funnily enough, this was in a conversation I had with Tim Exile when we were in LA. It's on my channel, a little LA Stories thing. But talking about how we've grown through this era of very few people making content to be consumed by the masses. You know, that's how we've all grown up through that sort of era. But now, I'm just totally quoting Tim here, but, you know, he's saying that sort of do a little Instagram video with bunny ears and crazy backgrounds or something and sending it to your friends. You know, you're the content creator and your content's being sort of consumed by maybe 10 people, 15 people or whatever it is. And that the world is moving more and more into that idea, you know, of the content creator and making content for very small audiences. And I was kind of thinking, God, I bet a lot of our albums that we've all made haven't had as much interest as, like, you know, 10. Oh, I don't know. Do you know what
Cats
I mean?
on a picture of a cat on a synthesizer. Yeah, I use the same thing, isn't it? It's like I could write an editorial piece, which I don't do very often, admittedly, or just post a picture of a cat on a synthesizer, and I know which one will do better.
But just to finish off on that point, though, the fact that, and probably at the end of this lockdown period, whenever that will be, you know, in the next, you know, 4 or 5 years' time, they, you know, sort of, no. I just wonder if that will have grown even more, that people slightly less interested in you know, the big corporations pushing stuff and more interested in their friends and friends of friends sharing,
There will, I'm sure, but it'll
content.
break out, won't it? I mean, it'd be like traditionally record companies, record labels would find the cream and promote it, whereas now there's a sort of, I mean, there is a sort of organic thing, but you do get a lot of help from people who know what they're doing in social media as well.
Can I mention just one more thing? I know, sorry, I'm hogging things, but just regarding TikTok, one of the things that's kind of like a genius about TikTok, and, like Drake got to #1 recently, and I think sort of part of the reason of that was because they did this thing with TikTok that if you upload something to TikTok and you can make there's that button.
Front door, I'll just be back in a sec.
Yeah.
You can make the audio available for everyone to make their own videos too. It's just like a button on there that they can press, and then they get the music. I think it can be up to 1 minute long. And they don't have any fear of using it for copyright or anything. You just can get that piece of music, and and subsequently people download it, film their own version of a dance to it.
Yeah,
but as a means of actually getting your music out to loads of people, it's as YouTube is clamping down on copyright, sort of TikTok is doing this thing, is making it super easy for people just.
Well, it's a short form version as well, so then you hear it enough. It's like it's like going on holiday to Ibiza, dancing all night in the clubs to a track, and then coming home going, oh, I remember that, I'll buy it. Same sort of concept, but different. Charles, I don't know whether I have a question for you. I can't remember if I've got a question to ask. Gaz had a lovely diversion there, but I can't remember where we were.
Well, I was going to add something to what Gaz just said. Was I have a few of my clients who are promoting their albums via TikTok exactly that way, and it's gangbusters for them. It's fantastic. It's a great way to do it. They don't have to worry about the copyright infringement. They don't have to worry about their album being ripped off. They don't have to worry about people burning out on their records, because people don't hear the whole record. They only hear just these short clips of stuff, and it also helps people see music in various lights. Either whether it's someone doing a funny video or a dance video or any number of things to these songs. So I think that's fantastic. Now back to the app. Yeah, I mean, I like Gaz said, it came out a couple of years ago, and I couldn't really see the demand for it. Maybe it did okay. I have no idea, but I can see now that suddenly this would be a new way of creative expression. Everybody's trying to get online. I mean, I sound like an old person when I said that. Everyone's trying this internet thingy. No, everyone's trying to do video content online now. I mean, just try to go on Amazon and buy, the gear that you need to make video content. I've learned firsthand that's really difficult to buy right now. And I think this is a great tool for it. Seems like it. So yeah, I might try it.
I know, Robbie, what you think. I mean, just going to that point that Charles was making about TikTok videos. I wonder if this means that people who that people can, if I had an album to promote, I might hire a choreographer to do me a minute video and do a little kind of a dance routine for it, so that it gets out into the consciousness. It's an interesting kind of spin on doing a music video, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like all these things, isn't it? It's like the most important thing if you're a musician, you're trying to get your stuff out there, is just understanding who are the likely people who are going to want to listen to what you do, and finding. And that's the most important thing. Otherwise, you can just aimlessly try anything to try and get your stuff out there. But if you can understand what your market is and who the likely, who want to listen to what you do, then you can kind of home in on the kind of things, activities you should be doing online to kind of, promote what you do. Certainly for me, doing a Brady Bunch style 4-track thing is not going to help promote what I do. I guess it's great. The more things like that are available for people, the better, isn't it? Because it means people can just pick and choose what's pertinent to their trajectory of what they're trying to achieve by getting themselves online.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and also the thing is as cameras. I've been seeing this a lot, because we've been filming all kinds of people's setups. Some people have just a phone. Some people have got an iPad. Some people have got an early generation laptop with a webcam. This is all for super boost stuff. And the difference in quality between various things. If you've got decent bandwidth, the iPhone camera is really good. I shot a thing with the guys over at UDO Audio, and it was just an iPhone and George taken us on a tour through his workshop, and it's a really good video actually, because he stops and he's got 3 prototype synths that he made, since he was a kid, and he just says, "Oh, this was and the domino," and well, I'll tease that because that's a great video, and it was just filmed on an iPhone, and it's like, wow, that's really, I mean, that's completely acceptable. The other thing that's very interesting, I don't know if you've seen, but certainly on UK television, the things like panel shows and quiz shows are now starting to be done by Zoom or Skype. And so, or by mobile phones, like Jamie Oliver, famous chef, is doing these kind of series from his kitchen where his kids are holding a second camera iPhone, they're filming it, and he's talking to another one, and it's becoming part of the visual language of what makes acceptable, like, TV content as well. It's really interesting, that whole dynamics change. I think where the problem is, you get these quick fire rounds, like, a kind of smart "What have I got news to you," where people are sort of wisecracking. And the edits are really uncomfortable. They're just off by a beat, whereas when they're in their normal system. And so it doesn't quite work in the same way. It's really fascinating how that's all changing, I think, personally.
Yeah.
Okay, right. What else have we got? This is another article from actually Music Tech, who they recently got acquired. Well, not recently, maybe a year ago, got acquired by the people behind BandLab, and their journalists, they're sort of changing their journalistic style a bit. It's getting quite investigative, and there's some great, there've been some really good articles on there. It's well worth checking out. Anyway, Bandcamp again are going to be waiving their revenue shares again. I think is it this Friday, which means the 30% thing. So it means that people can promote their stuff on Bandcamp and they'll get more of the cut. Obviously, you get the PayPal changes and stuff like that. That's kind of a good one. That's one of these things that's kind of handy. I mean, I don't know, Charles. I remember we talked to you, use Bandcamp, and you sort of see lumps in where when you play it out at some of your tracks at gigs and stuff. So obviously you can't do that at the moment, but I mean, are you able to use this kind of offer to bump your sales?
Well, if there was only like some way that on YouTube I could just like look right into a camera and say, buy my music, buy my music, buy my music.
Oh yeah, by the way, what is your Bandcamp?
Chicky and Coco at bandcamp.com.
Chicky and Coco. There we go. All right, there we go.
Chicky and Coco.
Excellent. Well, there's the perfect. Well, we can see if that works. And if they obviously, if people buy it this week, it means you get a bit more of it. It was a Friday last time, wasn't it? It's pretty handy. I don't know. I think it's these are all things that I think are going to be, they're positive, and they kind of make the record label model seem even more disconnected with real life for a lot of people as well. Because could you imagine EMI or whoever it is now, EMI conglomerate, saying we're going to waive our royalties on all the artist sales this Friday? Yeah, like as if.
Yeah. Good luck on that one. I love Bandcamp. I'm a really big fan of it, and it's spawned the type of music I listen to anyway. So I love that. I love the complete DIY thing. I mean, that's all this is a glorified DIY setup, really.
Yeah,
so
I suppose
I love that sort of thing.
Yeah. I know, Robbie. I mean, I guess a lot of your stuff. I mean, a lot of your stuff, because you do music to picture, it's a different revenue model for you. But I guess you probably do you Bandcamp?
I've put up a few things in the past. I did a little project with a friend of mine, producer from Swansea called Andy, and we called Sushi Friday.
Oh yeah,
and we got some tracks up there. But I mean, it's this is a new thing for me, doing my own solo project at the moment, and it's going to go through a label. So I guess that won't be pertinent for this. But I mean, certainly for the future, thinking about trying to be more proactive with stuff for myself. I think I'll be utilising things like Bandcamp much more.
Well, I mean, I'd imagine if your label have got anything about them, they probably will anyway. They'll probably be putting the stuff up there because it's all about making it accessible. And obviously with Bandcamp, you can embed stuff, and it's really easy. I mean, we're doing a performance with Ian Body, like I say, on Friday, and he's got Din Records. He's been running that since the 80s. He first put cassettes out on it of his own releases in that sort of 89. It's a real great story. And now he's doing these great compilations with lots of other people. I think I'm getting a phone call. Gaz, I'll just mute that, and you can take over while I get that.
Okay. So, well, I mean, I think Bandcamp just is where all the cool guys hang out, I think, isn't it? That's what I love about Bandcamp. I think it's just so brilliant for so many reasons, and them doing this just kind of shows that they are really I don't know, got the finger on the pulse. It's a really, really cool thing. And I've put out various things on Bandcamp, and I've got a whole load of stuff coming out on Bandcamp, including the long-awaited Pork Ticket album, which I'm really excited to release. That's going to come out in about 2 weeks.
What's it called again?
Pork Ticket.
Ah,
Yes,
is that your band that does the stuff that's unlistenable, or intentionally? No, I mean intentionally.
Revolting. Yeah. So just trying to decide whether to
The name as it is.
Well, we're trying to work out the album title at the moment. Could be
Keep It Clean.
Well, it's either like a helping of raw pork is one thing.
You're not trying to get vegetarians on board with this, are you?
Or I tell you, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. We try and disappoint at every musical junction. Every musical decision take the wrong turn until the music is so horrible. It becomes beautiful in a way because
Unintentionally beautiful. It's an interesting philosophy.
Really. But I think, but also the duodenum. I'm also thinking it. We've got a track called the duodenum as well. That's a contender.
Are you having a listening party?
A listening party.
Yes.
Yeah, well, everybody has to.
Pork Ticket listening party.
Can I put forward a track title as well, please?
Go on.
Yes.
I think Chitterlings would be a good one.
Chitterlings.
Chitterlings is a sort of English offal. I don't know what it is. It's not something that I'd want to eat, but I remember it from childhood. It's something that you used to buy from butchers, and it's some internal part of some animal that nobody actually wants, apart from your grandmother.
I'm from the deep south in the States. I'm from the deep south originally, and that's something we see too. Chitlins.
Chitlins.
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Mutton dressed as lamb.
Sorry, mutton dressed as lamb. Mutton dressed as pork, maybe.
But raw pork. Someone told me a technique years ago that if someone's got a hangover, a really good thing to help them speed up the recovery of the hangover is to get some raw sausage and just to roll some into an ashtray and wake them up and just show them it. Like sort of like the raw sausages in an ashtray is
what do they call it?
Hangover.
What do they call that? I think they call it.
Just speeds it all up.
Yeah, no, there's something that it's an emetic, isn't it? I think that's what.
I would never fly on our tour, but I thought it's chicky.
Sorry, Robbie.
It's a little bit like.
I'd say it's on a tour bus with an artist who's a staunch vegetarian. That would never fly.
No, absolutely would not happen. I'll say that sounds a little bit like one of those things where they say, best way to get rid of a headache is to hit your hand with a hammer. Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah,
your headache will be the least of your problems.
Yeah, it's distraction therapy. Well, I wish you luck with that, Gaz. I mean, maybe we'll have answers on a postcard in the chat room. I'm sure they're starting to appear as already. Yeah, here they come. Sorry. Yeah.
I thought you were just about to say maybe we'll feature a track, but surprisingly you didn't.
Well, we could do. Yeah, I think we have listened to some before, actually, Gaz. I think you did play us some, because it's come up before in conversation.
Yeah, it did come up, but it's Oh God, it's just horrible. It really, truly.
So
horrible.
I've got a question for you. If you do that, because obviously, when you're in a room with a bunch of people and you have an intuitive sort of jam session and things does it take longer because you've got to go? No. That's wrong. We need to rewind and go the other way, or do you start to instinctively know which is the wrong way so you can improvise wrongly? If you see what I'm saying.
Well, Pork Ticket is a duo, so it's just the two of us. But the thing about Pork Ticket that makes it really good fun, though, is that Sebastian Goldfinch, who is my partner in crime, he's from the band Cotton Wolf. He's got really incredible perfect pitch, and I think I might have mentioned him before because one of the things that's like you can play like the nastiest cluster chords and he'll tell you all the notes. He doesn't just tell you one note, he'll identify all the notes within a chord, and it's amazing. It's an incredible. So I used to, he became my party piece. I would take him to parties just to sort of get him to go get everyone to come and watch him, and then could try and see if we could get him to see if you could come and defeat our sort of perfect pitch guy.
It's like the sideshow, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So one of the things, and he's classically trained. So the thing about doing Pork Ticket is like what maybe one of our techniques is, well, I mean, one thing I did was like an Indian recipe menu, delivery thing had been posted through the door. So just sang the contents of it without a click track and without any reference notes, just sang everything on the thing. And then Seb harmonized it all meticulously. And it's,
wow.
Oh, it's so horrible. It's beautiful. But, he makes a really great harmonies to the most really difficult melodic stuff. He tries to make these great harmonies to it. So the core is horrible, but Seb's harmonizing is actually quite beautiful.
You might get sponsorship from Deliveroo.
Oh no, it's Just Eat. Did anybody say just pork?
The theme song to Just Eat.
Does anybody say just pork, and you could have the harmonisation?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I don't know if this will translate internationally. They might have an international equivalent of that ad, but you're seeing it everywhere at the moment. As with lots of delivery services, they're sort of doing great guns at the moment. Oh, that was fun. Thank you very much for that. Once again, excellent diversion there, Gaz. Let's have a look. So with Bandcamp, SoundCloud doing a live streaming service. Did I actually get there? I don't know if I did. Mixcloud. Oh no, not SoundCloud. Mixcloud. Oh, that's a completely different story. That's not the same thing at all. I told you I was busy, and it comes to the point where I just saw cloud and thought, okay, SoundCloud. But everybody puts cloud in front of everything, don't they? So I suppose it could have been
iCloud, whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, so live stream. But it's interesting. I mean, just going back to this, because like you said, Charles, everybody in the world is trying to go into live stream. I mean, and in many cases, lots of people do it, and it's good. In fact, Jim Hayward, who is a regular listener, he does a lot of stuff at the shows where he does the sort of sounds only demo videos of sort of the hot instruments of the show. Really difficult job actually, because you don't get time to play. That he's working on a Yamaha YC keyboard, the big YC 61. And he was playing that out on Facebook yesterday, and it sounded amazing, man. I mean, it was really because it's a traditional regular keyboard. It's got organ, piano, synthy, strings. It's supposed to be that, but it goes so far into the complete ambient and weirdness because the effects are so strong. I'm really looking forward to see what he does. But I mean, what I was trying to say was an illustrative point of people who don't normally maybe stream stuff because they think it has to be more structured or more. I think maybe they're finding out that improvisation can work. Alders from Sonar Traffic yesterday, I mean, his stuff is more structured, I think, or more considered. Did a really great set of just a sort of melodic modular. There's some really good stuff out there, but it's the frustrating part, like you say, Charles, is getting the tech set up, isn't it? Because without the right tech, it can be incredibly complicated to get it right.
Yeah, certainly from the so once this whole lockdown thing ends, as Gaz says, in about 4 years, one of the things I'm set up to do is that I've got in my house, I've got a way to be able to take in 96 channels of audio and mix it. So I've got a large enough space in my house that I can do live performances, have like a small ensemble, like a band with no more than say 7 people, or even no matter what kind of music it is. Wow. But I've got live drums in there. I've got a Rhodes in there. I've got all kinds of stuff, and I got great lighting in there. And so once the lockdown ends, I'm actually going to be streaming live shows from there.
It's like Daryl's house. Was it live at Daryl's? The guy from Notes did that.
We played that.
Yeah, so it'll become a little bit like a tiny desk kind of thing, only with a lot more equipment. A big desk. Well, actually, I'm just going to use the one I've been using live, my Digico. I'm going to use that because I've got a, right off the bat, that's 48 inputs right there, and I doubt I'll need that much. But I can stream out of that. And make a multi-track recording and have a mix of it at some time later, but I'm going to just mix it on the fly.
You know what? I think that's a really good idea, because I think what's going to happen is, as we've been repeatedly told, large public gatherings, probably entertainment is going to want to be the last thing to unlock. So there will be. I mean, you said, Robbie, you went to play at Daryl's, so having a venue where you could at least record and have a load of people watching the stream, or have maybe a small limited audience in, and then turn that into a product of the moment. This is the album we made there. This is the recording that's been properly dealt with. Yeah. I think that's probably going to that's going to have a big surge in interest, because that's going to be kind of the only way people can experience a live event. And so people who are already set up for that, I think, are going to be popular. I think
the thing that really caught my attention about it was watching all the Deutsche Grammophon, the German classical music label. they're doing these like Daniel Hope, German violinist, is doing these concerts from his living room, and it's just him, an accompanist of some type, like a viola or a pianist or something, and and a bunch of Coles mics.
Oh wow! Yeah, I was going to say. Like you do. I mean, it probably sounded right on the iPhone speaker, to be honest. If you've got a Strad, possibly. So
that's true. But he's got this this beautiful apartment that's in the middle of Berlin. He's got some decent lighting setup, and he's just doing these streaming broadcasts out of his house. I think every day. I haven't seen it lately, like in the past week or so, but I was watching it before, because my background is classical music, and I just absolutely loved it. I thought, man, I'm just going to start getting my clients in, and I've got a few other bands who've nothing, like no big rock thing. It'll be more like an MTV Unplugged thing, but I've got all these different bands that have contacted me about coming and doing a performance at my house. So
nice.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm sure that's something you could, because I mean, I know you do a lot of gigs, Gaz, and it's going to be tough for a while. So it's going to take these kind of lateral thinking ways of doing it, and figuring out how to monetize, tip jar or whatever, so that because I mean, let's face it, most if you do a gig at a pub or whatever, you're very rarely going to get a decent amount of money, and there's every chance that if you could build an audience that's reasonably large, you probably make more.
Yeah, I mean that absolutely. So I mean, you got to think about what
you should come play at my place.
Yeah.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, come on, bring pork ticket to my house.
Yeah,
no, you wouldn't want
live at Chicken Coco.
I was thinking pork ticket live would be really amazing. But yes, I mean, now there has a product has just been announced. I mean, I'm almost loath to mention it, because they're going to be so in demand. Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, and I think that looks like a really incredible unit for bands or acts or what, anyone who wants to do streaming, just because it's
simplifies
it. I mean, what an amazing thing it is. I'm really desperate for one. Blackmagic.
Here we go. This is it. I'm going to show this. And for those of you who probably they are not in, this is what it is. Basically, it's a 4-channel HDMI mixer, so you can plug cameras, GoPros, whatever into it, and it switches, hardware switcher, so you get what you switch on those buttons goes out, and it also
two stereo inputs as well.
Two stereo. You can also output. To stream it, to record the switch thing on an SSD, but it's also got a network port, which means that you can send, if you share the network via your computer, you can stream that directly to Facebook or to Restream or to any of these other streams. So you end up with a switched master recording, if someone does it right, and a stream. And and this is like, it's under £1,000. I mean, which for video equipment is really, really, it's these are the things that are going to be game changers to people who perform. I really strongly believe that. And when you consider what you could spend on a synth or a bunch of stuff that you may not really need, this is something that could enable you to do some really powerful things. And I think this is going to be a huge growth area. I mean, I absolutely do.
Absolutely, and one of the things, quite an interesting thing with it though, is it's a Blackmagic Australian company. There is a software mixer for all of it, because it can handle a lot of audio channels. That thing can, because there's a stereo pair from each HDMI input, plus 2. They're labeled as mic 1 and mic 2, but there are 3.5mm inputs that can be set in the software configurator to be line level, so you can run 2 line inputs into there. But the mixer has EQ and various other things, and
it's got the Fairlight sound engine.
Fairlight. So
I'm just
kind of scrolling. Cool, isn't it?
I mean, I know this, but I think the blurring between music tech and video tech is going to be it's just going to smear hugely, because people and I've been doing this again. I've been doing this all week, with people remotely. It's like, what have you got? Right, I've got a laptop computer and I've got my phone. Okay, you could dial on your phone into our system one of these remote calls, which can look as good as this easily. and that can be the shot of your piece of equipment, and then I'm talking to you. So, as long as I get a decent stereo audio feed afterwards, maybe a stereo mix, just to belt and braces, we can do this stuff. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, here's a question then. I mean, actually, we could put this question out. What do people actually want to see in a stream then? So if it's like a music tech type stream, do people want to see like all the controls on everything that's kind of, or is that just, or do you always want to be able to see the performer's face? Do you want to really see, if there's a little screen, do you want to see the computer screen? I mean, that's one thing, isn't it? All the kind of.
I think all of the above. I mean, the one thing that I will say is we also bring Zoom in, and Zoom. What I do is I can get a really good, because the screen share algorithm on Zoom is way better than the webcam algorithm. So you get much higher quality and a higher frame rate and full size resolution. So you can send a 1080 screen share and you can see that. And it we did the thing that we released with with Yoad yesterday, which was the reverb, how reverb works, how algorithmic reverb works. That screen, all the screen from there came over Zoom.
Yeah, that's how I'm doing my mixing thing. I do a screen share of Zoom, and then there's the little the images of everybody across the top, and then using Listen to, like I said, as the audio feed, and they're almost exactly in time. I actually set the latency on audio to Listen to from Audio Movers. I set that at the same time to match up with the screen on Zoom, and it works fantastic. It's great.
So I think the thing is, to answer your question, I mean, I would assume people want to see as much as possible, or if they only had one shot, what would it be?
Someone in the comments is saying that they would like to see a list of all of the gear used as well. So,
okay.
That's quite an interesting idea.
Well, I have to say, Ian, just to quickly, Ian Body has provided modular grid setups of the stuff that he's using in his performances.
Oh, that's cool. So you can check out his rack.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Check out his rack, as it were. Ooh. So that... It's just that thing I'm thinking about, though. Are you making content for music, performance for everybody, or for a music tech audience who really want to see the nerdy details,
Well, I would be, I suppose so. I mean, Charles, I guess for you it would be the performance in that space over there. Maybe the stuff you do in this room is more tech focused, right?
Yeah, it would definitely be more live performance thing. Although it's going to be kind of, like I said, like an unplugged Tiny Desk kind of thing. Yeah. But it won't be unplugged. And some of the acts that I'm going to bring in are electronic acts who are going to be performing their stuff live. So and it will have a quite the gear rundown. But the idea too is that the mix that they're going to get will be a very audiophile mix, because that's my specialty anyways, mixing. So I might as well do something that features that. So I want it to be a completely. I've got this. I don't know where I put it. I have one of those 360 cameras, and I'm thinking about maybe doing a 360 version as well, where I just set the 360 camera right in the middle of the room, and what I'm going to send out is ambisonic, so that whichever way they decide to turn their phone, they can sort of hear a mix that focuses on that. Yeah, so I've experimented with that. I've some hidden away videos on some private video, I guess they call them on YouTube, just so I could see if the tech actually works, and it does work. So I think it'd be great.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if now.
I'll let you know when it's ready. So.
Yeah, I'd love to. I think the other thing is now, maybe like Robbie, it's people will choose their streaming services based on the quality of the audio. Do you know what I mean? So they'll be actually, Zoom audio is rubbish. vMix audio is pretty good. YouTube audio is pretty good. Facebook not so much. I wonder if we're going to start seeing those kind of differentiation. I hope so.
So if you use something like Restream,
I just asked Robbie a sec.
Oh,
did you hear that, Robbie?
Yes, although it was cutting in and out for some reason.
Your network maybe. Let me see what I'm sending back to you. I can send you low, and then it will be lower. You've gone very blocky. There we go. That's better. I've cut the signal level back to you. So you didn't hear any of that.
I heard it gave and out a bit, so I couldn't
okay.
who you're asking me.
Okay, well, Gaz was going to jump in there, so I'll just jump in. But I was going to talk about. I was wondering about whether people will pick, whether there'll be streaming services that, in the same way that Tidal and who was it, Neil Young's thing was sort of talking. We're using this algorithm, so therefore it's going to be a better audio quality. Whether we'll now start seeing differentiation. So you might say if YouTube did a premium service for people who want to stream rather than consume, and said, right, we'll take the bandwidth, whatever you've got, and we can get that out there at the highest quality. That could be something that people will start to have to think about a little bit. Highest quality streaming services, or the best sounding algorithm for rock music streaming, or that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
The question I was just quickly asking, and I apologise for cutting in there, but was about Restream. If you use a service like Restream, how does that affect that then? I mean, do you send to Restream like the highest quality Restream that you can, and then Restream then will then send it out to all of the different... Because Restream...
Restream, this is Restream here. I'm sending I use Restream because it goes out to Twitch, it goes out to Facebook, and it goes out to YouTube. I don't think there's any passwords in there. I'm sending this out at 720. I'm sending out about 2 megs a second, but I could make it 1080, and then it goes out afterwards. I don't know how you. I think it sends on as much of the quality as it can. So. Restream is just, for those who don't understand, they've started to advertise on Facebook. It's actually quite useful because what is Restream? I'm just going to pause that because you send it to them, and then you can send it out to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, whatever, all from that one point. So your single point of streaming means you don't have to send out 4 different streams if your bandwidth is limited. So you could just go one at higher quality and then send it out to everybody else. I mean, it's a paid service but it's not very much. And if you're doing it a lot, it kind of does save certain, makes certain things easier. So yeah. But I don't know about the nuts and bolts of it. I think it just passes on what I send it, basically.
So, I mean, just your question there about people seeking out the best quality. I mean, because like Restream sends it to, 30, 40 different places, and places I wonder how many people actually use. And I think that was the thing that was confusing a little bit. That I can understand Twitch and Facebook and YouTube, what are all the others and who uses
there are a ton of others. I mean, there are some that there are. I mean, Instagram you can stream live, but you can't. They don't connect to that. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather just send it. If I could send it to multiple places, I may as well. I mean, there's no. It's. I mean, we send it to Twitch. It doesn't really cost us anything, but we don't get that many viewers on it because I don't maintain that as a platform. That's the difficulty. Right. It's maintaining the platform. So Facebook we interact with quite regularly. YouTube obviously we do, and our own site. Everything else we don't really spend a lot because you just can only do so much. Because you need to cultivate and spend time to engage your audience. And Instagram we do to a certain amount, but that's it. We couldn't really take on anymore. It's just not viable because each one needs a different sort of thumbnail. And when you make a 16:9 thumbnail, and you go, oh, that looks nice, and then you go, now I've got to make it 9:16, and it doesn't work at all, and it's all wrong, and it's actually quite challenging and a bit of a pain in the ass, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably a little far outside music tech stuff, but I know, Robbie, did you get to...
It's relevant to what we're doing. So.
It is. I don't know, if you got to hear that? I mean, you said you did live at Daryl's. Did they stream that, or was it recorded and then sent out afterwards? Can you remember?
I can't remember. It's this. I can't remember how it worked. Were you there, Chicky, for that?
No, I wasn't for that. No, I don't. When was that?
How it worked. We played Daryl's house.
Oh no, I didn't. Well, not with you guys. I haven't been there for that. No.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, I can't remember, Nick. If I'm honest, no.
Well, that's the other thing, because and it always makes me nervous. I know even after 600 episodes of Sonic Talk, putting a live stream at a point in the future where you've got to hit that, and then worrying about network redundancy and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we've got 3 coming up over the weekend. I'm fairly sure it'll be all right because it'll be from here. I'm pretty confident, but I'm not going to start buying satellite backup links. But that's when you start getting into that, when you promote it so far in advance, and it might be really important, and suddenly BT said, oh yeah, sorry, we dug up the road, your internet's off, because you can't know whether it's going to be or
the other
whatever.
BT, by the way.
these are,
Yeah.
or whoever it is. It's BT Telecommunications. I mean,
not BT, the producer.
BT. Yeah, we haven't heard from him in a while. He's actually running around the country digging up people's telecommunications. Yeah, perhaps not.
He was telling me he gets a lot of text from them.
Yeah, sorry.
He gets a lot of tech support. Like Chicky said, he gets a lot of people asking about their bandwidth. He really gets fucked off with it.
Well, it's funny. Well, because he came on the show and I asked him, and he said, "You have no idea how many emails and how many Facebook comments I get every day from people in the UK wanting to know about their telecommunications."
It's that, or else it's the Korean group BTS. He gets a lot of stuff about them as well, wondering when they're going to tour.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Nick, can I say one last thing on the streaming thing? Is that there is something that is in stock, I notice, is the Roland Go Stream device, which is designed for musicians mainly, but it's like a kind of smartphone streaming thing. And at first it seems a little bit limited, but you can, as long as there's another device on the same Wi-Fi network, you can have two smartphones acting as cameras, plus it kind of...
plus the camera on the device. Yeah, I'm just looking for Go Live Cast, isn't it? I'm just trying to see.
Go Live. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got. I think they're sending us one of those for review. And it's this thing, this guy.
That's the one. This is the first.
I'm trying to see. I think it's like $200 or $300.
£219.
Yeah, it's $219. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, to be honest, for the extra couple of £100, it almost I mean, you need the cameras. I mean, it won't work unless you've got cameras to plug into it. Let's face it. This is a great solution. This is a great solution for people who don't.
Yeah,
just smartphones and iPhone.
It's a smartphone.
Yeah, that's true enough. We're going to try that. Okay, well, I think we'll probably call it a day now, because we've been going for a lot. Sorry, Robbie. I hope you weren't too disconnected in the network issues.
That's all right. No, it's fine.
But it's lovely to see you. So are you going back to your work now? You're going back to do your album?
I'll do a couple more tonight. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I've been kind of checking in every day with who I'm collaborating with, and it's sort of getting advice and stuff on it. So it's good. So it's like a nice two-way thing.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Well, lovely to have you, Robbie. Always a pleasure, and I hope you stay well and safe, and get outside occasionally, safely, obviously.
I do. Every day I go for a walk.
Yeah, good for you. Also, Mr. Charles Chicky Reeves, thank you also for joining us too. I can't wait to see your 360 experiments. Really excited about that. Yeah, it's gonna be really good, and it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to doing that project. And in the meantime, I'm releasing a track tonight, possibly. I do Chicky and Coco track. There you go. Promotional Pillow. Oh, there's a good name for a show at some point. Promotional Pillow. Oh, that might actually have just pipped Gateway Toggle Switch. Yeah, so we did a cover of God Only Knows, Beach Boys. Oh, so, right, nice. That like a disco version of it. It's coming out hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow. On Bandcamp, of course, Chicky and Coco. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna put it out on YouTube. Okay. Well, yeah. Actually, maybe I will release a version on Bandcamp. High quality version as well. Put a link in the YouTube description, of course. You know. Yes, right? Of course, I will do that. Okay. All right, and Gaz, thank you very much for joining us as well. It's a pleasure to see you, and I hopefully we'll be seeing some more of you soon. I hope. Yes, there's content galore coming. When he said about when Chicky just said about God Only Knows, though, I do apologise. I have told this story once before. I'm going to tell this very, very quickly about a practical joke I did about 20 years ago. I mean, these kind of things are kind of a lot easier to do these days. But the Pet Sounds box set came out, and on the box set there was like 4 CDs, and one of the CDs was like all the backing tracks with no vocals, and then on another CD was just all the songs on it, just the vocals. And I was just kind of thinking, I wonder if they line up straight away, and they lined up perfectly. And I'd happened to just have put God Only Knows in, and then I thought I'd had a bit of a light bulb moment. I was thinking, this is quite a funny thing. So I went through the vocal and I just detuned a couple of notes,
I mean, this kind of thing's a lot easier to do with RX and stuff. But back then, this was kind of, and then started it really subtly. I may not always love you as long as there are stars. I go sharp, actually. I'll go sharp on stars. Just about 20%. And then just slightly increase the frequency of the slight detunes until it started getting really, and then I burnt it onto CD because it was 20 years ago. I put the CD in my Pet Sounds case, and I knew a friend of mine was just a Beach Boys fanatic, and the next time he came round, I had it all set up, and I steered the conversation into Beach Boys and saying about favourite songs, and he said, he's going on about God Only Knows, and I was going, it's a lovely song, but man, the tuning is just, it just grates on me. And when you start hearing it, I just really can't hear the song anymore. He's going, there's no, the singing's perfect on it. It's going, yeah, I don't want to show you though, because when you hear it, you can't unhear it. And he was going, he said, I can't think of anything wrong with it. Oh, okay then. Off to the CDs, out come the CD, back so he doesn't see it's a CDR as it goes into the CD player. I thought, and I go, did you hear that? And he's going, yeah. And then as it, yeah, it's like, but then of course I went and blown it because it gets stupider as it goes on, as is my, and then you go, all right, as he realised it, I had tricked him.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Nice story. I did a remix of We Love You by Ryuichi Sakamoto, which had Brian Wilson and Robert Wyatt and Ryuichi Sakamoto. Wow. None of which I would say in later years were renowned for their expressive and on-pitch singing. Singing. And we got the multi-track, and it came, I've probably told this story before, it came on two 248s, I think it was. It came in like 4 reels of 2-inch tape, and the transferring was a nightmare. We pulled it all across, and I just remember we pushed the vocals up, and it was like several Brian. This is when Brian wasn't very well for a long time, and he was. There was that weird phase where he was with the doctor, and I think he was sort of over medicated, and it was all a bit wrong. And it was during that phase, and his singing was absolutely appalling, really, to be perfectly honest. And Robert Wyatt's got quite a character. It's quite a whiny voice, but it works. Like Shipbuilding's just, it works for the songs that he writes, shall we say? But it didn't really work for that one. And it was called We Love You, and I think it was a Stones cover, and it was just because my musical partner at the time is a massive Beach Boys fan. And he was so disappointed, and I didn't need to go to all that trouble. He was just massively disappointed because it was actually shit. Anyway, that's probably. I've now badged the podcast as an expletive, deletive type of podcast, but that's probably a good place to stop things. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. That was really good fun. Yeah. And we'll be back. Don't forget, we've got a special on Saturday at 3 p.m. where we'll have other YouTubers and people who are producing Super Duper content to just kind of come in and chew the fat. There's no real architecture to that, much like most shows. But our videos will come on stream on Friday, and we've got a load of stuff coming up. Just check the YouTube channel, check it all out. Thanks, guys. We'll see you all out the other side. The other side of Super Booth. Bye. See you later. Bye.